Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Redseapodcast. My name is Dennis, as always, coming to you from Greece. And following what was a historic episode last time, breaking the record for not only the people I've ever had live on the show, but the views on an episode of the show in general, not vlogging or anything like that. With it currently standing at 300. So I wanted to start off the show by just saying thank you. Uh, you can find anything you want in the description, whether that's, of course, whether you want to like and subscribe. If you like what you see, it helps immensely with the show being on an incredible rise of now 117 subs, I'm pretty sure. Uh, And down below in the description is all the socials and everything you need to know about the show from X to Patreon. Feel free to interact, chat, and message me. And yeah, that's about it from that. If I haven't done something completely wrong, you should be seeing a poll in the chat. Do confirm to me, someone, if you can see a poll down in the chat, because on StreamYard for me, for some reason, it just refuses to show. Uh, and of course, as always, whether you are listening to this now or after, if you're new or old, whenever you cast live and I am solo, and Gav will be back, hopefully for the post game of the cup game against Panathinaikos coming up this week. Uh, He just missed today's game, so he couldn't be on the show. There will always, on solo streams, be the room link for StreamYard in the chat. I am usually trying to pin it. You all should be seeing it. If you all can't, just let me know if you find trouble with that. And you can join me, share your opinion, share your questions, whether the show's topic is a game, whether it's a match day, whether it's anything else. You can join me and just share your opinion freely. So, if that's something you wish to do, especially if you're listening to this after, wherever you are listening to this, just make sure to catch the lives. Now, today should be relatively quicker as the games have just ended, as the derby with Ike and Pauk has just ended with Ike coming out as the winner, which was more or less kind of expected, as Pauk, uh, in my opinion and in many's opinion, gets completely knocked out of the title race, now standing at -10 from us. Let me actually do confirm that. Yes, PAOK stands at 37 points, we stand at 47, and then it's Ike and Panathinaikos at 43. PAOK more or less out of the title race by courtesy of one of the best goals I think I've seen in a while by Eric Lamela. Of course, everyone stood and compared it with that goal by David Foster. Both were incredible goals. And of course, going on to the most important, and that being our game, we beat Levadiakos barely with a 1-0 victory with Mouzakitis' goal, his first goal with the first team in the 85th minute. And as I said when I posted the full time as well, in my opinion, this game was extremely vital. We saw how close it got to being dropped points, and we saw how tough it was to break through a team like Levadiakos when they are all sitting back, as we should have expected at the very least. But of course, as we've been more or less saying the entirety of the season, this generation of players will always find a way to save us. First, it's been Bambis many times, but the sole savior against in the Aris game against Aris was, of course, Babis Kostoulas with his brace. And today, Mouzakitis comes in off, uh, not off the bench, in as a starter, getting the full 90 minutes. I really don't know why I said off the bench. Having an absolutely incredible game, and of course, topping it off at the 85th by controlling the ball that landed at his chest perfectly, putting it down, and then thundercanting it to the back of the net. Bottom right, Garavelis couldn't do a single thing to catch that. And what a way to score uh, your first goal for Olympiacos, and what a way to just open your quote unquote bank of professional goals. Not only because of the way the goal got scored, again, wonder goal in my opinion, but of the meaning that it has. Not necessarily only for the game, but as I said, for me, the 3 points today were more than vital. And we saw that both Ike and Panathinaikos dispatched of their opponents. And in my opinion, we can't lose until the playoffs. And if we don't lose until the playoffs, I think we have more or less secured the league because the others are bound to mess up somewhere. And of course, we do have Ike in front of us as well. Again, I talk about Pauk, but after today, especially, I really can't see Pauk coming back and challenging for the title at all in any way. So I'm solely talking about Ike and Panathinaikos. If we manage to keep going undefeated until which our streak has been more than impressive, by the way. If we manage to keep going undefeated up until the playoffs, I think we already will basically have one hand on the league title, the ever important league title, and the league title that will more than likely, as things stand at least, send us straight into the UCL, which not only stands here to mean that we're getting into the most important and the most prestigious European competition after I can't even call back how many years it's been. But as me and Gav have talked about before, the boost we'll get in every club department is going to be insane. And again, even if you put the UCL to the side, you haven't won the league title in 2 seasons with Pauk clinching it last season and Nike getting it the season before. So you get the title back to where it belongs. And the one of the most important things as well is that of course you need to win the league title in your 100th club year anniversary. Like of course that goes without saying. But I just wanted to list off, and that's not even, you can go on and on about whatever reason maybe that you need to win the title. And I just wanted to strengthen my point that it's more important than it may even has ever been up to now, at least as long as I've been watching. It's not little, not a lot. Uh, so yeah, the lineup, of course, was as follows, with Zolakis being irreplaceable, and no words can stand here and truly speak out loud the value that Zolakis has to this team, nor how much he has brought to this team already at such a young age. I will call back to what Gav had said, that he is a top 10 goalkeeper in Europe, and I have never disagreed, nor will I ever disagree with that. Stat wise, he's been proven to be the most ready to play in a top 5 league, but as I said last show out as well, he, for me, he would be not only a vital part, but he'd be as irreplaceable as he is here in a lot of teams in the top 5 league as well. So I don't think that the top 10 keeper in Europe right now is by any means a stretch, honestly. And then it was Rodinen who once again showed us an incredible form, even though Roddy does never really disappoint. Roddy getting full 90 at the right back, of course, his position. Uh, and yeah, no real complaints in any way, shape, or form from Rodinei. Arechos putting in a very solid game as well, not really needing to do much. I will get to that comment in a bit, I do see it. Not really needing to do much. Neither did Carmos, so I don't really have any complaints from either of them. But the main thing that I can point out defense wise is that this man right here, Zini, just had the first half of an absolute demigod for some reason, with mostly Carmo, honestly, being done in. Uh, but it all got it all turned out well in the end, is what mainly matters, honestly. Uh, Ortega, Francisco Ortega, a man that I mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. Francisco Ortega is a man that ever since the Porto game has flipped a complete switch. He's been a level up and more. And whether that's because of Bruno coming in, I do not know. Maybe it is because of Bruno coming in, or whether that's because of uh, just him working harder and smarter in his game, finding his strengths, improving his weaknesses. I do not know. But Ortega, for me, today was very close to being MVP. It's between the people that I have in the poll for me, but of course, I hear single uh, every single opinion out there. Now, getting into the goal scorer himself, Christos Mouzagitis, I think I've said enough for today for Mouza. Everywhere and anywhere, incredible defensively, incredible offensively. Of course, not the only chance he had, but the chance that he made arguably out of fucking nowhere with that amazing control that he managed to land. And what's there to say? From the goal to his hustle to absolutely everything, Mourakidis gets It's close, but Mouza does have to get my MVP, my vote, and I think everyone will more or less agree. The man that didn't really have the the absolute best of games, that's Danny Garcia. Danny, who I've multiple times stood here and supported that he really has more or less been quite overhated in this club. Uh, of course, he's no superstar. We all know that. But it really does feel that every time he's asked to put in a shift, especially in Europe, he puts in the best of shifts, the best to his abilities at least, and he's very valuable to this club. Apologies. Uh, Family needs. I hope I didn't blow out any of your eardrums. But yes, speaking of where I was, Dan Garcia, of course, is ever valuable in Europe. Uh, in the Super League, his value doesn't really show that much, especially in the lower league games. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's useless or that he doesn't really cover his position because, of course, he does. He just had more or less a mediocre game today. Now, the three of dreams for some reason. Costulas, Chiquinho, and Velde, for me, all had very good games. Chiquinho, the least not impressive of the three. Of course, Chiquinho didn't get full 90 either, but Chiquinho had the most quiet game of everyone, but that doesn't really change that those three gave as much as they could to the offense today. Costulas, for me, again, one of the best players of on the pitch today. Not quite as good, even though the difference for me is very minimal. Not quite as good as Ortega, Mouzakitis, and Velde, but still up there and once again proving how he deserves his spot, his slowly irreplaceable spot in this 11 and in this team. And I will get into the absence of the new boys in a bit in detail, looking ahead into the cup as well. But I had read on Twitter an opinion that I retweeted as well. Eventually, if anyone is to get the number 7, for me, it should be Kostulas. Eventually. I wouldn't be mad if the number 7 was left vacated either, but if someone is to get it, it should be Kostulas, and it seems like the club does respect the number 7 since Luis Palma, or it was Palma's decision, I don't know what really stands there, since Luis Palma got the number 50, as we all saw. Moving on to one of the men that surprised me very, very much today. Uh, of course, I really put in emphasis on Kostulas and Mouzakitis, their performances, or Starboys, of course, and Francisco Ortega. But a man that up until the 85th minute was gonna get my shout for MVP is the very surprising Christopher Welde. Welde, who has drawn very divisive opinions for everyone, very divisive opinions from me. I've stood live on the show and said that I don't want Welde to play an important match again. But I also have stood live on the show many times and said that I hope I'm proven wrong in any negative opinion about anyone. And I'm the first that will owe up to it, and I stand by that shit. Velde, the last few games, and especially today, honestly, just showing signs, the signs that this is a winger that knows a lot of football and that needs his confidence. And I am praying he does something in the cup because for me, uh, he probably does get the nod of starting in the cup. And even if he doesn't start, for me, he gets time in the cup. Uh, Depending on if Palma is ready or not, but I think Velde will get time in the cup. And I hope he starts doing something in the bigger and bigger games as well, because I have a feeling that if we see a confidence filled Christopher Velde, we will see the Christopher Velde that we all want to see. Now, with all due respect, of course, the disappointment of today, and that's Roman Yaremchuk. Yaremchuk, who was riding on a severe high, honestly. Yaremchuk, who was scoring finally after the cup game. He looked like he was slowly getting his form back, like he was bonding more with the club, the social media activity as well. And I don't think this game discredits what he did, and I don't think this game will really knock him off his feet again. But given this was a start against a lower league opponent, I did expect him to convert one of the chances he missed because Yaremchuk missed one too many chances today, in my opinion, with the main outlier of those chances being that rebounded header into an open net that he sent above the goal that I think everyone had just a tiny bit of a heart attack then. And yeah, I really hope he bounces back and shows us what he did against Panathinaikos and what he did in Europe as well. And I hope just that he can play better and better because I'd be the happiest, as I said, and I think absolutely everyone would be the absolute happiest for any player that shows up, not only just Roman Yaremchuk. Ayub El Kabri came in the 59th, didn't really have a chance to do anything vital regarding the game, didn't really have an amazing game, didn't really have a bad game, was more or less forced to be a bit more quiet. Ese coming in, running house again in the midfield. I couldn't be happier that we're seeing the Ese of last year again. I don't think that's straight still. Ese regaining the form that we all know and love, and Ese hopefully keeping that form steady and well. Zelson, again, more of a quiet game, good game, way better game than last time out, uh, but not really able to do much like uh, in the span of 20 minutes. And the, the most surprising appearance of all, Sergio Oliveira, who I refuse to comment on. Moving on. As I said before, we stand first with a +4 differential to AEK and Panathinaikos. Then there is PAOK. Then there is Aris -3 from PAOK. Then Asteras is on a game less. If they win their game, they will tie with Aris, and there will be a massive scrap, as it seems, for fourth place between PAOK, Aris, and Asteras. And if you all want my opinion, I hope Asteras do it. I really do hope Asteras do it. I'd much prefer them over PAOK and Aris. Then there is Atromitos, and then Offi rounds out the top 8. Atromitos and Panetolikos are playing right now, I think. So I don't know what the score really stands to be on that. If anyone wants to update me, that would be lovely. Uh, and then, as we all know, next game up for us is the Cup. Next game up for us is Panathinaikos in the Karaiskaki. And next game up for us is Revenge. I would expect the new boys to be playing. I would expect Orta to start if there isn't any major problems. And as I said, time off the bench and time on the wings will really rotate around if Palma is deemed ready or not. And I wouldn't really be expecting Bruno to get game time in the cup. But I may be corrected very soon. We'll see. I do think we'll get it done. I haven't the slightest doubt that we will get the qualification and go on to face AEK in the semis, but I do think it will be tough. I don't think that refereeing criminal activity like the last Olympiacos Panathinaikos will be allowed again, but I do think that it's still going to be a tough game. But I am hoping and praying for an absolute battering because it will more or less be karmic justice. Then on the weekend, if I'm not completely mistaken, once again we do face Asteras in Tripoli. Let me actually go and confirm that. No, we do face Asteras here. On the 9th, we face Asteras in the Karaiskaki. Again, relatively early kickoff at 5 p.m. Greek time, as always. It's here, so I'd say it's a comfortable game. But with Asteras being in the form that they are, I don't even recall who they play this match week. But with Asteras being in the form they are, you never know. Our main focus will be on the cup. Our main focus should be on the cup. And then when we dispatch Panathinaikos, we'll go on and dispatch Asteras as well. That's about it for today. I wanted to more or less hit the 30-minute mark, and I did. Shows about the EuroLeague have been a bit more rare, and I apologize for that, but I will get back into it this week. It will either be a show to cover tomorrow's game. No, I apologize. I honestly, the way my day has gone, I keep thinking that today is a Monday. Today is Sunday. There will either be a show covering Tuesday's game, and I'm pretty sure we play on Tuesday. Let me actually go check on that. I know we played twice this week. I just can't remember the days. Wednesday. We play Wednesday and Friday. Okay. So there will either be a separate show covering Wednesday's game against Paris and a separate show covering Friday's game against Barcelona, or there will be a combined show on Friday after the Barcelona game covering both games. I will keep you all as updated as I possibly can. For now, check out everything on the channel if you're new. There is interviews, there is vlogs, there is everything and anything you may want. If you like what you see, like and subscribe and check out everything down below. See you all over on Twitter and Insta. Do interact with everything you feel like. And before I completely finish off, as expected, uh, the the MVP of the chat was Christos Mouzakitis. I will start doing more of these polls slowly. Uh, Hopefully that when I also get more people, the polls are more divisive and we can chat about it. And yeah, that's about it. Plans coming. I also plan on doing a solo Q&A stream at some point aside the Red Chronicle. So if you would like to see that, do comment down below or tell me. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for your insane support. You'll never know how much I truly appreciate it all. Want to bigger and better. See you all soon. Thank you.